All right, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another YouTube video. So, gonna break down the trades that I took last night and today. So, just to speed you guys up for a bit, actually, I'm just gonna show you the freaking whatever this is, the freaking charts over here. And so, yeah, so did a 5K day. Realistically, if I did trade Friday, and so if you really just take away the loss that I took on Friday, which was 750. I really did a 3K day today, but I'm gonna just say 5K because that's what's right here. So F it, you know what I'm saying? But in terms of performance stats right now, win rate isn't the best, but average win and loss is not too bad as well. Um, but yeah, let's take a look right here briefly. I'm trying to break down these trades as best as I can. But yeah, so like Friday, I told myself I was gonna trade Friday. If you look back on the previous video, I said I was gonna trade Friday. Ended up getting oh yeah, so I ended up getting off all the extra two accounts that I had. And I can't lie, the greed got to me because it was really nice setup on gold. I'll show you the setup. I did FOMO, not FOMO, but I did I didn't wait for my setup to really form on silver on Friday or Thursday night. And I took two losses on that, which was I was already down like 500. So then Friday morning, saw a setup on gold, which I'll show y'all, and it was really clean. Like I was it hit all my targets that I wanted, but it ended up coming down, taking out my stop loss, and then going in my way. So and at that point, I locked myself out of the account. I wasn't really in the right mindset at that point. I was really just I won't say the right mindset. It's just like I didn't want to be down more than I could have prevented. And here's a thing for today. So he's ended up being down. I'll explain all these trades today. Going into, I'm gonna just break all these trades down on TradingView because I pretty much chart everything on TradingView, and I just use TopStepX to execute everything. So on the 4 hour, as soon as we opened, we immediately took out the high that I marked out. So realistically, I should have waited for the hourly to show what direction it wanted to go in. And really off the rip on the 5 minute, we were already showing bearish structure. So uh I really should have just waited for the 1 hour because once we saw this high, price price on it went towards these lows over here, swept these lows, and then looks like it's gonna start to come back up. But in terms of the trade, I I'm admit I fumbled into this trade because I saw how oil jumped up Sunday opening, and honestly I kind of got a bit of like FOMO because I was like, dang, like I didn't, not to say I didn't get to trade oil because I did trade oil. I'll show those trades as well, but I was just trying to catch a I was trying to catch a reversal trade, and there was really no confirmation that price was going to reverse here. So I essentially told myself this was going to be the breakout, stop loss at this low right here, and we did get into some profit, and then price ultimately fell back down and pushed lower. But had I waited for the hourly to close, this is where I more than likely would have caught shorts around this area over here once 7 o'clock came around. And as far as the gold trade last week, this was the trade that I got stopped out in, and I wasn't salty about it, but end up hitting my target up here, and as well as this draw that I had up here as well that I marked out. So it is what it is, honestly. But yeah, this was the first trade. This was like a minus $200 trade. So at this point, my accounts were down like 900 bucks. So I had to just lock. I knew how to lock in at this point. So and I was at work, so I said, all right, let me get off work, and let me just focus up because I was honestly pretty distracted at work, talking to my coworkers. So I'm not gonna take. I'm saying that's the blame, but I wasn't as really focused as I should have been. So coming into the next trade was oil, and as you can see on the 4 hour, we pretty much just delete that. On the 4 hour, we pretty much had a really strong trend, and I didn't really start trading the micros until like I don't know, like last week or this week, or yeah, this week. So I forgot CL even had micros because I'm so used to trading the mini of it, the mini version. So we had a really trend has been really strong on the 4 hour, and so on the 1 hour, we immediately pushed right above $100 closed higher here, and I thought at this point I was like, "There's no way we just keep going higher, right?" And then we ended up pushing up higher later on during the session, and so I just marked out the range, and I was looking at this point. I was like, "All right, if prices to continue bullish, I look to find opportunity within this range." And so on the 5 minute, here, we ended up. So at this point, my mindset is, all right, I'm down $900. I don't really want to essentially take bad trades, but I'm just wanting to take base hits, and at this point, so every trade at this point was like $200 worth of risk. So this trade was about a $400 winner, and I think this trade was like, I can't remember how much this trade was. So about, like, I think this trade was like $300. So yeah, pretty much we're on that 1 hour range. Structure is breaking bullish now, and so we had this impulse of the correction and expecting the ICI within the range. We got that move. Same thing here, ICI within the whole entire range. Got that there, and I really did. I didn't think that we would honestly push above the highs. I mean, I really, to be fair, looking at hindsight, I should have just partial out maybe like one contract, or even just held and just tried my stop loss, just to maximize the winners in general. Like, I gotta really start maximizing my winners. Um, Same thing really happened today on silver, which I'll explain. And yeah, like, to be fair, like the target I marked out on CL was 115, and we ended up pretty much hitting it and then pulling back. Where this trade was also taken on the 1 minute here, you can tell. So like pretty much the bottom of it. Oh, speaking of this exact trade as well, um, yeah. So I refined my entry down to the 1 minute here, and it was still looking really good. I had confidence in this trade, and as we were pulling back down here, this is when volume came in rapidly. Like, we ended up just pumping up really quick, and so with that, I really should have just used the momentum that we had and just trailed my stop loss. Um, like however way I wanted to trail it, either by the EMAs or by candles. But it is what it is. I'm not tripping about that. But yeah, those were the first two trades. So these two trades essentially got me, let's say, close to if break even, if not break even, close to break even on all three accounts. And I think I ended up not trading anymore. Because once I saw this, I was like, yeah, this is just over. Like, I'm not really gonna look to. I'm not gonna look anymore. And so, um, I want to say New York now. Um, this is the problem of taking too many trades. I forget the trade that I take. So I think, yeah. So we started off with this trade here in New York, and I'm trying to remember, was it this trade? Oh, let's take a look. I don't wanna be just so. Okay, yeah. So okay. All right. I know where I'm at now. So pretty much, next trade was during New York session, and looking at all the indices, everything was looking pretty nice to fill the gap that we made overnight. And I was really convinced that we would honestly take the breakout to fill the gap right at the New York Open, but we ended up sweeping out the highs and really just pulling back for a little bit and then pushing up later on during the session. So on CL, this was pretty much a reversal trade. and I was looking to capitalize on the reversal back up to fill the gap. So you had this really nice impulse correction, and I took this on the hourly. On the 5 minute, it looked all right. Honestly, I'm not saying it's a bad setup on the 5 minute. Could have been avoided, honestly, but we pushed up a little bit into profit, but then immediately just came back down. And I really should have closed this out early because I just saw the signs that we weren't really gonna push up because uh yeah, it was just looking weak compared to these two. But yeah, we ended up just immediately getting stopped out within like a couple minutes, or within like 5 to 10 minutes. And later on, we ended up taking the session gap, whatever that we left overnight. But once this happened, I was looking at oil, another trade on oil. So at this point, I was like, all right, price looks decent on the 4 hour. I had this high here marked out. Um, on the 4 hour, that 4 hour high, I had that marked out. And so I saw that how the price was reacting toward these EMAs as support, and I really liked that. And I've pretty much found the range that I wanted to see my entry in. So yeah, this impulse to correction, we swept the low here, which looked really good. As well as when we opened up on this candle, we didn't have a wick, so that was also a possible draw that price wanted to take out. And we had a lot of liquidity just sitting above these highs here, and ended up yeah. Let me mark out this loss here as well. You see, I take way too many trades, and I normally don't trade this much, but I don't. I just really just gotta focus on the quality setups, honestly. But because it's starting to get to the point where I'm forgetting the trades that I take, but it's fine. It's fine. So we were pretty much pushing down, but on the 1 hour, we still looked pretty good. Like, still looked good. This 1 hour did close, pretty sketchy. We did break below the range here, but I believe at the time, yeah. So yeah, at the time, yeah, I was in the trade before as it closed at the range, but at the time we looked like we were gonna reverse here, and I jumped the gun on the breakout here. I was risking. I had pretty high conviction on this trade because just all the draws that we had up here, and so I got in with two contracts here. I was risking $400, and as we pumped up here, as soon as we got this push up, we corrected. We pulled back here. I ended up adding an extra contract at the high here. So I was in three contracts now, and I moved my stop loss around this low right here, and immediately like on the 1 minute we got like crazy volume, so that really played out in my favor, and we got the move higher that I wanted to these. My target here, I should have drawn it out here, so I drew it out here. Was this on this candle here that didn't have a bottom wick. That was my draw there. It could have been these highs, but this I saw this as a really nice target, and we pretty much top ticked that as a TP. And I'd say yeah. So I took out two contracts here, and I was looking to for the other contract toward this 4 hour high, and ultimately we just ended up reversing here. Um, and at the time, the 15 minute was looking really nice. We had pretty much shown that like it looked like it wanted to reverse here. So once I got stopped out for break even, I still looked at it for another trade to the upside. And I'll admit this is not even a good trade I should have taken. Yeah, I'd say this is a pretty bad setup, but because on the 1 minute it was looking like this, and I remember I had an order set out, uh, and then I think I got a really bad fill on this high here. I got a really bad fill around this area, like around this high area over here, and I just had to, because of the fill was so bad, I had to move my stop loss right here under this impulse under this like engulfing candle, and we did get stopped out here, but my ultimate target was either this high here, depending on how price was what's it called, like structurally how price was pushing up to this high, or to this 4 hour high that I marked out as well. But ultimately we did get stopped out on this. So this was like a minus 200. So I think at this point, with all the trades that I took, this got me to around like plus 200 on each account, and I was in profit. And so then this trade got me back to break even on all the accounts. So then I took the next trade I took was this gold trade, because I was like I said, I was watching both gold and silver at the same time as well, and I noticed how it looked like it wanted to start reversing up higher, and I really should have just focused. I mean, I don't know, there's either or, it really didn't matter. If I'm being honest, but price was holding pretty nicely overnight. I saw how this 4 hour kind of pushed up on silver, and I was like, yeah, this looks like it wants to break out in whatever session that it breaks out in. But gold was really the weakest one. But coming into New York, I had a target here that I wanted to see price take out, this draw right here, and ultimately we ended just really being just choppy the whole session until like 2 o'clock. But when price pushed down here, as soon as this hourly came down, we pretty much pumped right back up. And I like the way that price closed, so I used the range of the candle to find an entry in, and I got my entry model that I like to see, and took the breakout of the high here, stop at the low, and ultimately I should have not moved my stop to loss to break even early, because I normally break even at 1.2, but because price was so slow, I honestly was just like whatever. Like it was just like you can say it was just really choppy throughout the session. So I was just like whatever. If I get stopped at break even, I get stopped at break even. I'm not really tripping. And ultimately they did come back down, stop me out, and then it pushed up. So then I saw this during the gym that okay, the metals look like they want to go. So I look at the two. And at this point when I saw it, price was around right here. Or yeah, I think around yeah, like around right here. And so I looked at this and I also looked at silver. So the next trade that we took was silver. Man, it's a lot of talking, bro. But so let's get it done. So obviously in the 4 hour, it looks really nice despite all the consolidation that we've had. It looks really nice as we're getting essentially coiling up really close to the EMAs here for a breakout, which we got later in the session, as you can see. And so on the 1 hour, we were really holding the EMAs really nicely, as well as structurally it looks really good. And so as price pumped up here, so I remember I saw this and I thought, oh yeah, probably gonna just come down lower now, but price ended up holding and pushing right back up. And so at 2 o'clock, when I saw this candle close at 2, I saw that as essentially my range to find an entry in. So I'll just mark it out right here. So this was the range I was looking for my entry in, and we we did get it with my stop loss all the way at the low here. So I was looking at, I got in with one contract. Well, let me say with the breakout, I was targeting this high here, but because I was at the gym when I saw this, I honestly just wasn't really focused um on the management of the trade. I just set a notification on when to go break even. So pretty much when price had closed at 2 o'clock or opened at 2 o'clock, I noticed that price had pumped up really nicely. We corrected here, so I buy stopped the high. Realistically, my stop loss should have been on here, but I didn't want to risk too much on the trade. I'm being honest. Yeah, that's right. I'll be honest. Yeah, Like this is really not it. This stop loss isn't really that good because it easily just came down and swept the low here. So I really should have put it down here. But it is what it is. And I remember immediately, yeah. So once we got triggered in, immediately was moving in our way, which I like to see, especially with silver. Just because how like just how much it really just moves in one candle. So when it moved in my way, I was really liking that. And at this point, I just set the break even notification at like 1.2, which I did get. And so I moved my stop loss to break even, and we did get hit for 2R or 2.04R mid set. But had I actually been watching this with this the amount of speed that we had, I would have trailed my stop loss down to this low here, guarantee like 390 on the trade, and I would have moved my take profit here on to 1960. So yeah, I did leave a lot on the table with this trade. If I'm being honest, like this was a pretty easy trade to just identify that it was going to run, but it is what it is. Catch them. You'll end up not catching every single trade like this. So I just took the base hit, and essentially that puts all my accounts, the 3 accounts, at 1,000. And yeah, I mean that's really it. I hope I broke down the trades pretty decently. There's a lot of talking, so I'm gonna try not to take as many trades in the future, because man, that was a lot. So, but yeah, in terms of structure, it looks good for longs with the metal, so I'll definitely be looking forward to that. During Asia, and as for oil, yeah, I'm gonna just let this be. I'm gonna be honest. If we hold the structure here and start to show structure wants to move up higher, then yeah, I'll be done to take it back up long. But as of now, I'm not looking to short this at all. Indices look good as well, so I'm surprised how after the news over the week, I'm surprised how much we came back up. So it's gonna be a really interesting week to say the least, especially with CPI, I think on Wednesday. So we'll see how price action will be. But yeah, this is really it. That's where the accounts sit at right now. But yeah, I'll see you guys, I think tomorrow, if not Wednesday. We'll see. But yeah, I'll see you guys.